We're continuing here with Pastor Jensen Franklin, great man and a great friend. Pastor, I'm going to read here some breaking news, and I want to kind of tie it into some biblical principles, because blessed are the peacemakers,
right,
as it says. President Trump had a call with Vladimir Putin. I'm going to read the entire press release here live on air. It is breaking news. It seems like it's a whole bunch of nothing, but it's actually a very deep and promising development. Today, President Trump and President Putin spoke about the need for peace and a ceasefire in the Ukraine war. Both leaders agreed this conflict needs to end with a lasting peace. They also stressed the need for improved bilateral relations between the United States and Russia. Let me pause. There were no bilateral relations when Joe Biden was president. We were not even talking. Let me continue. The blood and treasure that both Russia and Ukraine have been spending in this war would be better spent on the needs of their people. Let me pause. Joe Biden refused to ever count the Russian part of the war as part of a casualty, meaning it was only the Ukrainian side. Both sides are human beings dying in this conflict. Both sides have families, and both sides were needlessly going to war. This conflict never should have started, the White House writes, and should have been ended long ago with sincere and good faith peace efforts. The leaders agreed that the movement to peace will begin with an energy and infrastructure ceasefire, as well as technical negotiations on implementation of a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea, which of course is right near Crimea. Crimea is in the Black Sea. A full ceasefire and permanent peace. These negotiations will begin immediately in the Middle East. So essentially, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or wherever. The leaders spoke broadly more about the Middle East as a region of potential cooperation to prevent future conflicts. They further discussed the need to stop proliferation of strategic weapons and will engage with others to ensure the broadest possible application. The two leaders shared the view that Iran should never be in a position to destroy Israel. That's an amazing development. The two leaders agreed that a future with an improved bilateral relationship between the United States and Russia has a huge upside. This includes enormous economic deals and geopolitical stability when peace has been achieved. So we're still processing all this a lot here. Blessed are the peacemakers, Pastor.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And that's what the president did his first administration. No wars. He kept us out of wars.
Yes.
Kept peace in the earth. America was so strong in leadership and militarily that our enemies were afraid. And, you know, that's just a history course. If you just go back in history, that strength can prevent wars from even happening. And the tragedy that we've seen with Russia and Ukraine, I thank God that the president is trying to be a broker of peace. And like you said, that is this one of the Beatitudes is blessed are the peacemakers. And if anybody ever was a peacemaker, it seems like he is gifted to do it because he truly is standing between the two. He won't take, that kind of makes people mad. But, and I know Russia is an aggressor. We all know Russia is brutal and evil.
Yeah.
But they're also, like you said, they're people. They're human beings, and there's some wonderful people there.
Yes.
And so we need to...
there's also some wonderful Christians that have been repressed there.
There's
for quite
no
a while.
question.
Yeah.
No question. And the same in the Ukraine, and I think everybody wants peace. And I'm just praying that he will be able to make it happen because it's critical. It's critical.
Amen. And so they mention in here Iran not getting a nuclear weapon. So President Trump solving the Ukrainian-Russia deal, I think, will be worthy of a Nobel Peace Prize. If he can solve the Israel-Gaza-Hamas problem, that'll be
I have never in all my years, and I've followed this closely because I'm very passionate about America's relationship with Israel.
Yes.
And I have never, breaking news right here, I have never heard the president of Russia say that Iran should be stopped from having nuclear weapons.
I think that's breaking news.
The fact that he's smart enough to broker where he is in one major war and then grab one of those players that has massive influence over Iran and say, you're going to work with me to bring peace to the Middle East is brilliant.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful because we know that when America stands with Israel, Genesis 12:3, I will bless those that bless Israel. I will curse those that curse Israel. I'm so thankful for the way the president's standing with Israel.
And President Trump is being very smart, because you think about it, Russia wants to have some negotiating power over Iran, and if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they're going to lose some. They're going to lose some of the leverage that they have over Iran. Russia's not going to get rid of the nuclear weapons. It's not possible. They have more nuclear weapons than we do. And so therefore, think you're getting enough nutrition from your food? Think again. Right now, it takes 3 carrots to get the same nutrition as 1 carrot from 100 years ago. Our food supply has been hijacked by big agencies, stripped of the minerals your body needs to function at its best. Dr. Linus Pauling, a 2-time Nobel laureate, saw this coming. He warned, quote, "The world is sick due to a lack of minerals in our foods. Most supplements today give you 12 essential minerals, but your body needs at least 60 to thrive. That's why Immuno 150, Immuno 150 is a game changer, delivering 13 essential vitamins, 70 plant-based minerals, and 68 additional nutrients. This administration is going to make America healthy again, but it's our job to be informed and make good choices. Immuno 150 gets you on track for better health. Visit Immuno150.com. That's Immuno150.com, or call 855-593-5500 to get yours. It's time to take back control of our nutrition. Trump knows this. He says, okay, well, one point of agreement we might have, and it's also very good for Israel. Now, I would not go as far to say that Russia is pro-Israel, but they're not anti-Israel. Russia has been a very complicated actor with Israel, but they have donated money in the past. It's been on both sides. They built a church in Hebron, as you might know, like a Russian Orthodox church. And I would say neutral is probably the best way, but it hopefully could invite a broader sentiment that America is here for peace, while also standing by our allies, such as Israel, in the region. Let's talk more broadly about Israel. How should Christians and Americans think about our alliance with the state of Israel?
As a Christian, you would have no Bible, you would have no doctrine, you would have no salvation. Even John 4, Jesus said, salvation is of the Jews, meaning that without that Jewish connection, we would not have the tribe of Judah that produced the Messiah, Jesus Christ. How can we, the Apostle Paul said, how can the branch say, I don't need the roots anymore? The roots of our Bible, the roots of our faith is the Hebrew faith and the land of Israel and the people of Israel. We are not just called to love the land of Israel, the Holy Land, the land of miracles, the land where Jerusalem and Calvary and all of that. But we're called to love the Jewish people, and we love the Palestinians. We love people everywhere, but we also know that there must be sovereignty of their land in Israel, and that's why we stand with them.
Without a doubt. And they were attacked on October 7th.
Every time they're attacked.
That moral clarity is critically important.
Every time it's... Show me one time when Israel started a war. Mm-hmm. It's always in a response.
Yom Kippur War from their founding. It's always defensive.
I was asked to go to the White House and meet with 23 of the families of the hostages a couple of weeks ago. And Charlie, I'll never forget that day, just hearing one story, and they brought posters. It was the sweetest thing. They would bring their son or their brother or whoever, and they would hold that up and they would talk, and it was the most moving stories. We brought 2 of the families into the church, and before I preached, I interviewed them, and it was powerful too. You ask, why should we care and why should we connect? The church has to connect with Israel, and here's a great opportunity to do that. We brought them in, and they were flown over straight from Israel, and they were on a press deal to keep. One of the things the lady said, one of the hostages, her husband was being held, she said, had President Trump not, before he was ever even in office, he started talking about the hostages better be let go. The hostages, had he not put that pressure, she said, we don't believe we would have gotten our loved ones. And by the way, her husband's been released, the lady that was here. But I wanted to say this. The thing that amazed me is when they came out and they were afraid of how they would be received. They had never been in a Christian church. Never been in and the crowd stood to their feet and they were cheering and and then we prayed. They were moved to tears and they found out that Christianity is not what they thought it was. That we really honor them and love them and care about them.
And that is the witness we must be to the world. What do you have to say for Christians that I don't even want to say are anti-Israel, but either have never been to Israel? They don't quite understand the significance of it. You said it beautifully. There would be no salvation. There'd be no Bible. There'd be no Savior. There'd be none of it without the state of Israel. What has Israel meant for your life? The first time you went to Israel, tell us the story. Tell us the Jensen Franklin story of going to Israel.
So I had a friend who wanted me to go with him. He would go all the time. And so me and my wife had just been married and just started in ministry our first year. And we went to Israel on his trip, sat on the bus, went to all the sites. I cannot explain. For me, Charlie, I've done it. I've probably been 30 plus times now, taking thousands of people over there. And every time I go, there's some spot somewhere that we go to that it all hits me again. And it makes it so powerful and so fresh. Every person, I'm on a rampage about this. So one of the things we're doing is we're setting aside large amounts of money, and we're going to start a thing where we have a big youth conference down the road, and we have 12,000 teenagers. This is not college kids. This is teenagers, and they come to the conference the last week of June. And I want to connect that conference to Israel, because when I see the protests, when I see the craziness on the university,
I fight it all the time.
We've got to stand up to that.
You have to.
And so the answer is that you hit it right on the head. If we can get young people just to go to Israel and let them be there,
it's a game changer.
So we're gonna start a trip for young people to go to Israel and let them have fun and let them ride jet skis on the Sea of Galilee and let them canoe down the Jordan or whatever,
the Dead Sea.
Exactly, and have a great time, but at the same time have those moments.
Yep.
That change everything and solidify your faith. Instead of going to spring break and getting messed up for the rest of your life, Why don't you go to Israel and solidify what you have been taught? And professors can't change your mind when you go to college.
I love it. Pastor Franklin, thank you for all you do, and thank you for hosting us here at Free Chapel. Any website or anything you want our audience to be aware of?
We're just excited you're here. Thank you for what you do, and we stand with you.
Thank you, my friend.
Bless you.
Jensen Franklin, everybody. Thank you.